Hi everybody, my name is Hailee and I chose to do my first research project on Greek mythology. This relates directly to the course because we've been learning about the Greeks and it is linked to their culture and their beliefs. So starting with the origin, it originated because Greeks worshipped many gods and goddesses, so their myths gave them a background. It also explained natural events, experiences, and religious rituals. All Greek myths started as verbal traditions, so there aren't any original writings. However, the first written myth was in 700 BC. Okay, so just to go over his background, Zeus was born from the Titans Cronus and Rhea. His father had eaten his previous brothers, Hades and Poseidon, out of fear of getting overthrown by them. So when Zeus was born, Rhea tricked Cronus into feeding him a rock instead of Zeus, and this saved Zeus from being swallowed by his father. So once Zeus grew up, he forced Cronus to throw up his siblings, and together they began the battle of the Titans and gods with other allies, and they ended up winning. Once the war ended, Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon divided the universe into 3 separate parts and drew straws to see who would rule what part of the universe. So Zeus ended up drawing the longest straw, and that made him the god of the sky and father of gods. Poseidon drew the middle straw, and this made him the god of the sea, and Hades drew the shortest straw, and that made him the god of the underworld. Zeus also had many wives and many children, so we're going to get to that in the next couple of slides. Okay, moving on to Athena, not only was she the daughter of Zeus and Metis, but she was also Zeus's favorite daughter. While Metis was pregnant with her, Zeus was worried about having a son that would overthrow him like he overthrew his father, so he actually ended up eating Metis to prevent that from happening. Because of this, it's said that Athena was born from his head and was born fully grown and in full armor, and this is what made her the goddess of war and wisdom, also known as Ares' female counterpart. So she helped prepare men to battle and provided them with supplies, but regardless of her being the goddess of war, she actually believed that war should be the last resort and only supported it for a just cause. She was also referred to as Parthenos, which means virgin, and this is because she never married and she also never had any love interest or partners. Okay, so this one's actually kind of sad, but he was the son of Zeus and Hera, and when he was born ugly and with a limp. So because of this, Hera was embarrassed by him and threw him over Mount Olympus. He did end up getting rescued by sea nymphs, thankfully, and was raised and taught how to do blacksmithing, and this is what made him the god of fire and metalwork. But after he got casted out of Olympus, he created a trap for Hera to get revenge on her. Essentially, it was just a throne with chains, like hidden chains, so when she sat on it, it would trap her. They did end up sending Dionysus down for Hephaestus, and Dionysus got Hephaestus drunk and brought him back to Mount Olympus and tricked him into setting Hera free. But he was also known as the only imperfect god. The last goddess that I'm doing my presentation on is Aphrodite. So she was the daughter of Zeus and Dione, and she was so beautiful that she became the goddess of love and beauty. Her father forced her to marry Hephaestus in order to prevent a battle for her hand in marriage. Zeus did this because he knew that because Hephaestus was so ugly, none of the other gods would be really envious of him, which is really mean, but that's just how the story goes. And this is ironic because the goddess of love didn't get to marry who she loved, and this led her to be unfaithful with many other gods. She was also a key factor in the Trojan War due to her bribing Prince Paris for the golden apple. So essentially the golden apple is just an apple saying that whoever gets it is the fairest, and the competition was between her, Athena, and Hera. Aphrodite knew that Prince Paris found another goddess named Helen to be the fairest, so she promised him that Helen would fall instantly in love with him if Paris said that Aphrodite was the fairest. So Paris took this bribe and declared Aphrodite to be the most beautiful goddess, and the same day Helen became enchanted and left Greece with the prince. Unfortunately, the king of Sparta was already married to Helen, and so when he heard that his wife had been taken by the prince, he called other kings of Greece to go rescue her, and this is what began the war. And this last slide is just all of my sources that I used for my information, but that wraps up everything for my presentation today, so thank you for watching.